Hey everybody, RC here. I'm sitting in a hotel in Atlanta and I go take a look at my profile page and look at this. There's a completely new cover page that you can use for this on Google+. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, before I had this giant collage of images that worked on a really, really narrow bar. Now you can put a single picture, but I kind of like the collage idea. So I have Photoshop and I have Bridge, and I have inside of Bridge a whole bunch of different images that I can use for this collage. I figured, well, why don't I do this? Why don't I sit there and just create a quick tutorial for you guys, showing you guys just kind of how to create it. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Bridge. We're going to be talking a little bit about how to use actions. We're going to talk about how to combine the two with some scripts that are built into Photoshop to create this kind of profile. So there's a lot of stuff, but I figured I'd walk you through the process as I was thinking about it. So what do we have to do first? Well, the first thing that we need to know is we need to know what the size is, what the dimensions is. So I'm going to click on File, New, and I already have it set up as a preset. I wanted to show it to you guys. The preset is 2120 by 1192, and it's at 72 pixels per inch. I typed in that information, RGB color mode, background context is white. Once I have all of that stuff set, I just clicked on Save Preset and I gave it the name New Google Cover Page. So that's all I need there. Now, I'm not going to open that one just yet because I have some other stuff that I want to do. So inside of here, I need to be able to figure out, well, how many pictures wide can I use? Well, I know it's 2120. So right inside of Google, I'll just go ahead and open up a browser. I'm going to go to google.com. And I'm just going to type in 2120 divided by 5. And I just picked 5 because why not? And notice that it's about 424 pixels wide. So that means that any image that I use would have to be 424 pixels wide for it to fit all the way across. Okay. When I did that, I found out that the files that I had a height of about 280 pixels. So everything was 424 pixels wide by 280 tall. Now, here's the problem. If you look at this folder of all of the images that I want to use, some are portrait, some are landscapes, some are bigger, some are smaller. See, this one is smaller than this one. So how do I set up 424 by 280 of all of these files? I'd have to first find the files that I want to use. Then I'd have to crop all of those so that they fit 424 by 280. Well, let's work through it inside of Bridge. Bridge right now is set to sort by file name, but if you click on the drop down here and you select dimensions, it'll even it out nicely, right? So any portraits go up at the top, then it kind of starts evening it out a little bit better. This will make it a lot easier for you to go, all right, well, from here to about here are the images that I want to use, right? So I can go ahead and then just go, well, this looks pretty good. This looks like a good set. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these. I'm going to find, let's start here. From there to about there. So we have 48 images selected. Matter of fact, I probably would select, I'm going to shift, or I'm going to command click some of these to deselect them. 47, 46, and 45, right? Because they're, right, 5 across. So this will give me what I need. It gives me 9 rows if I need it. I probably wouldn't need it, but I have it. That's okay. I'm going to leave those selected for now, because I need to go build an action that's going to do this cropping for me. So inside of Photoshop, you can either save it in your default actions or you can create a new set, and I can just call this for Google. I'm going to go ahead and just make a new action, and I'm going to call it 424 resize. And I'm going to click on record. Now it doesn't matter what I use here. I'm just using a sample image to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to File, Open. I'm going to find any picture that I have. I did a screenshot of my daughter and I doing a Google Hangout. So that's it. It doesn't matter. I'll use that. Now, from here, I'll go to Width, Height, and Resolution, and I'm going to set it to 424 pixels by 280 pixels, 72 dpi. Now, 72 pixels per inch. I'll go ahead and I'll find more or less kind of the crop that I'm looking for. Again, doesn't really matter what I'm doing with this picture because it is a sample. I'm going to hit the Enter key, and you're going to see that it did a file open, it did a crop, and now what I'm going to do is a file save as, and I'm just going to call it Booga. Doesn't really matter because I'm going to delete that. I'm just saving the file somewhere. I'm going to save it with a specific quality. It doesn't matter, your choice. And I'm going to close it. Once all of that stuff is done, I'm going to hit stop. Now, if I were to run this action against a series of images, say 40, 50 images, it's going to turn around and it's going to crop at the exact same spot that I did in that Google Hangout picture. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to be able to control where I crop that and move it around a little bit. So for me, what I'll do is I'll come over here to this crop section, and in this crop section, I'll click on this option here, which turns the dialog on. That means that every single time it's going to stop there and it's going to go, all right, well, what do you want to do here? Once that's set, I'm good to go. My action now will stop every single time. So back to Bridge. Inside of Bridge, I have all of the files that I want to use. I've selected all of them. They look great. I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to go to Batch. Inside of Batch, I'm basically telling it, go to the For Google set that I just made. You're going to run this action against the images that I've selected in Bridge. Now, I want to override any open commands, I want to override file options, and I want to override color profile warnings. And I don't want to include subfolders, just in case. So, having that set, I can go ahead and pick a new destination. Now, I don't want to do it at none, and I don't want to save and close it right in that folder because then I would be overwriting it. I want to set up a new folder. The new folder I already have set up on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Google 424. I'll click on Choose, and then I'm going to override the action save as commands because it's going to put them into that one specific area that I've selected right here. Everything's all set right now, so all I'm going to do is just click on the OK button. It opens up the first picture. See, there's my crop. Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to move it because it's stopping at every single spot there. Because of that one toggle that we did, I can go back over here and go, all right, well, I want that much. Hit the Enter key, saves it, closes it, puts it in that one spot, and now I can come over here and go, oh, that spot looks right there pretty good. I can move the crop exactly where I want it. That looks pretty decent. Hit the Enter key, saves, closes it, comes back over here, and I'll do that for this one. And you have now control over how that's going to go because it's using that same width, height, and resolution that you specified up at the tool options at the top. I'm going to do one more, and then what I'll do is, just because you don't want to sit here and watch me do 45 of these, do you? I'll go ahead and I'll just finish them up, and we'll pick up in a second. Okay, so now if I go to my Finder, I'm going to go to my desktop, and inside of here under Google 424, I have all of the files, and all of them have the resolution that I need. So we're looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and create the composite now. I'm going to go to File, New. I'm going to use that preset that I have set up there, 2120 by 1182. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to use it later. So once I have that set, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Scripts, and I'm going to go to, inside of here, I'm going to go to Load Files into Stack. Right? All that means is go take a look at a series of files, right? Take all of these files inside of the Google 424 folder, select one, shift-click the other. It says take all of these files and put them into layers. So click OK. It's going to take all those files, right? We don't want to necessarily have to do this by ourselves, right? The same reason you didn't necessarily want to go ahead and do the crop, file save, file close, crop, file save, file close. You don't want to have to do that over and over and over and over and over. You just want Photoshop and Bridge and all of that stuff to do the heavy lifting. Look, all of the files are set up right here now. That's it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to the bottom one, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to shift click the fifth one, and I'm going to hold on the shift key and click on the folder icon. That's going to take all 5 of those, throw it into a group. Single click on the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift click on the second one, then shift click the folder. That's this group 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. There's 5. Shift click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift click. Just click on the first one. There's 5. Then do the same thing with this one. So shift click, single click the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift click the last one in the series, the 5th one in the series. Then shift click. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now each of these files sit inside of their own group. Looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to grab this first group, single click the one at the bottom. I'm going to use the move tool, and I'm just going to click right on the center and drag it over to that new document, and I'll let it go. Matter of fact, I don't need this guy anymore. Once I have that group, I'm going to move it all the way over there to the left side, and I'm going to expand the group. That first one is that top image. Click on the bottom of that series and drag it all the way over to the right edge. It'll snap to that edge. Right? You can nudge it with your arrows if you want. Once you get it exactly where you want it, right? First one's all the way on the left, bottom one's all the way to the right. Shift click all of them and select this option right here in Photoshop that says Distribute Horizontal Centers. There we go. Now, be careful because you don't necessarily want to make sure that this last image right here goes all the way to the right edge, and you want to make sure that this image goes all the way over to the left edge. So what I would recommend is single click on the top image, Command A to select all, align this to the left. Then single click on the bottom one, align that to the right. Now you know that all of those are selected. You can deselect, shift click the entire series, and now horizontal centers. Once that's done, you can come over here, go back to the next series. Group 2. Use the move tool, bring it over here, let it go, grab it, put it right there. It'll snap into that one edge. Do the same thing. Command A, select all. Make sure that you select the bottom series there. Align it to the right. Deselect. Then shift click all of the images in the Group 2 series. Come back over here, and you want to distribute horizontal centers. There's your second one. Now, let's go back over here. Take number 3, using the move tool, move it over, bring it over here, move it over to the left side. Again, twirl it down, select all, Command A, select the bottom of the series, make sure that it snaps all the way over to the right. You can leave it selected. It doesn't really matter. You can then just shift click all of them and then do that. Right? You can totally leave it selected. It's not going to mess it up. But I just tend to do it just out of habit. I always just deselect and reselect. I'll go ahead and I'll grab my 4th series. And move this one over here. Then I'll go ahead and grab that last one, select all. And once it's at the very, very end, I can go ahead and shift click all of these guys and horizontal centers. And now the last one. I'll go ahead and I'll take this one here. I'm just going to grab 5. Okay, select all. Actually, I don't have to select all. Just once you have the tool selected, you can just go ahead and just bring it over here. Now, I'll have that deselected. And remember, you want it to look like it's trailing off at the bottom. So I'm even going to do that, a little bit of that runoff. Select the bottom, select all, and go to the right. Now, once you've done that, select all of these and horizontal centers. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and grab this. Once you have them all selected, there you go. Distribute that all the way to the end. Now we're done. Now, once you have that all done there, you can just go ahead and just do a file save as. I'm going to save this just because I don't want to necessarily lose it. I'm just going to call it Google template. And then what I'll do is I'll save another copy of this, and I'll save it as a JPEG, and I'm going to call it new cover _RC. I'll save that. I'll click on that. Maximum quality. That looks pretty good. I'm going to close this file. Now, remember, I did a bunch of different images. I did 45 images, and in this case, we're only really using 25. So select 25 of your best images. I don't mind this because what I can do is I can just go ahead and save this, and I can call this port for cover. I'll save it in the same folder, and then that way, if I need to rotate them out and do different ones, they're already done. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to close this out. I'll go back into Google Chrome here, and what I want to do is I want to be able to take this and I want to change this into something different. So I'll go over to the Change Cover section, click on that. I'm going to upload that picture that I just did. So I'm going to select the photo from my computer, and there's my new cover. Now when it asks for a scale, just go all the way to the top ledge, drag it all the way to the right. You got the whole thing. Click on Save, and you're good to go. When you go to Public, that's what people are going to see. If you want to follow more of the stuff that I do, you can always just follow me here at gplusrc.com.